Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly in World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles, and I don't think this is an episode you're likely to forget in a hurry. Our first replay is courtesy of Chris562 in the British Tier 7 medium tank the Comet, which I like. I think this is a very good tank. However, it's a Tier 7 medium, and this is a Tier 9 match, and there's quite a lot of artillery in this match as well. And I have to admit, if I was in this tank, in this matchmaking, on this map, I wouldn't be coming down here. This tends to be where the heavy tanks and the tank destroyers with all the frontal armour go to duke it out and get killed by each team's artillery. That much hasn't changed, regardless of how much they've actually changed the Arctic map. But this isn't really about Chris's gameplay. No, this is just the match in general. It starts off as a fairly straightforward battle on Arctic. Chris is here now, so he starts doing what the Comet is good at, working ridge lines with the tough gun mantlet and the rapid aiming and rapid firing 76mm gun. M103's not paying any attention to him, so he puts a sneaky shot into the side of the tank. But with 150 average damage, he's really not more than an annoyance to the M103 at the moment. Foch getting stuck in there at the tanks on the corner, and here comes the artillery. Doesn't matter what changes they make of the rest of the map, that spot right there is where everybody goes to get killed by artillery. Well, Chris is trying to work this ridge in traditional Comet style, and the Comet does have a good tough gun mantlet, and it does have a rapid firing, rapid aiming gun, and it does have good gun depression, but it's all relative, isn't it? Don't forget the Comet's Tier 7, this is a Tier 9 match, and it does have a tough gun mantlet, but it doesn't have a tough gun mantlet when Tier 9s are shooting at it. So he can't really afford to keep trading damage like that with the M103. But again, this isn't really about Chris. Now, this is about the events that are about to unfold around him, and it starts with the IS-8, who comes steaming down the corner. Chris moves forward, gets under his gun, pops one into his rear hull. He goes straight off the cliff after the Foch, does 500 damage to himself, does not shoot at the Foch, instead shoots at and misses the ST-1, and then drives straight off. Straight into the water and drowns himself. The Foch thinks, well, hey, he got away with that one, and then artillery stamps on him like a bug, because this end of the map on Arctic has always been where people come to get killed by artillery. Anyway, things are going to start happening very quickly now. Here is the IS-2 who got ruffle stomped by artillery earlier. Chris trades shots against him, his tracks he did, he comes off best. The ST-1 finishes off the IS-2. Now, there is the M103, and Chris is once again going to test his gun mantlet against the M103's gun, and regrets it. But artillery hits the M103 just in time for the friendly IS-2 at the back there to nearly kill Chris, completely missing the rear of the M103. Meanwhile, T49 has just derped one right into the back of the IS-2, but the IS-2 doesn't really seem to be paying any attention to the T49 behind him. It looks like he's going back down there to kill him, but then he starts moving back up again, and the T49 completely misses him. So the IS-2 comes up, and this time he hits the M103, but he's only firing high explosive. And then guess what? He gets killed by artillery. Chris, possibly thinking that it was the T49 who killed the IS-2, and he knows he's got a long reload, comes down to try to kill him, but the T49 doesn't miss with that shot, and nails him. So Chris is out of this game for now. We interrupt the ongoing drama to bring you the T28 prototype on the team, who's managed to find the one spot on the map where he can't see anything and can't shoot anything, and doesn't appear to be in any hurry to leave it. And now, back to the ST-1, who's just tracked and almost killed the M103 as a 112 comes over the ridge, takes a hit from the T49. The 112 does no damage from point blank range straight into the side of the tank. He ignores the 112, finishes off the M103. Starts backing up, trying to get the 112 in front of him. 112 derps one straight into the front, no damage whatsoever, backs up, ST-1 plants one into the water as the T-49 does even more damage, leaving him on 22 health as the 112 screws it up yet again, and then an amazing shot from the friendly 212A artillery takes 1252 health off the 112 and does no damage whatsoever to the ST-1 on 22 health, who was actually scraping paint with the front of the enemy tank. T-49 lines up the kill shot and derps it harmlessly right into the rocks in front of him. The ST-1 breathes a massive sigh of relief. And you can almost hear the ST-1 thinking, okay, I've gotten away from the T-49, but I'm driving straight into the kill zone of the enemy artillery. But for the first time in this match, the enemy artillery actually have other things to worry about. There's a friendly VK4502B who's broken through and is threatening the artillery. Unfortunately for him, he's got 2 medium tanks and a light tank on him, and it sure would be nice if he had some sort of help from the IS-6 and the T-28 prototype, who still hasn't moved. Well, the IS-6 has. He's heading in the wrong direction. Bless him. The VK4502B bites the dust as the T-49 comes around looking for a shot, and oh, careful, hide the ass of the tank, you only have 22 health, Mr. ST-1. He doesn't even have to hit you to kill you with that 152mm high explosive, not with that much health. Of course, with this dirty great big rock in front of him, he can no longer see the T-49, who could still be sitting on that crest of the hill over there waiting for him to pop out. Not only that, with the 4502B dead, artillery no longer have better things to do, so you can guarantee they're aiming at that rock waiting for the T-49 to spot him again. And with 22 health left, it's just not worth the risk, so the ST-1 does the sensible thing and he starts backing up. And that's when something very unexpected happens. See the T-28 prototype up there in exactly the same spot? No use to the team alive, didn't even have the view range or line of sight to spot this one-shot kill LTTB as he just casually drove right past this 22 health ST-1. And now of course the ST-1's been spotted, so he's got to start motoring or enemy artillery is liable to tear him a new arsehole. But the T-28 prototype, remember that guy? Well, I don't know. Maybe we're being overly critical. Perhaps he's sitting in that spot because he's worried about the 2 enemy mediums that could be coming through and threatening his artillery. But one way or another, he's sat in that spot the entire map. And, you know, if it's stupid but it works, sometimes it's not stupid. He kills the LTTB who misses the kill shot on the ST-1. But the ST-1 is not out of the woods yet, because here comes the T-49 who throws it all away right at that spot as he hesitates as he comes around. Artillery tries to kill him once, twice, but he took too long getting down. Gave the ST-1 time to turn the turret around, and the ST-1 once again escapes death by the skin of his teeth. But all this drama is just too much for the poor delicate soul in the IS-6, who with a cry of "Goodbye, cruel world," throws himself into the lake for no apparent reason and drowns himself. And oh my god, the T-28 prototype is actually moving. Wonders will never cease. Well, I suppose he has to now that the IS-6 is no longer up at the north-western end of the map to give him any warning of those enemy medium tanks coming through. Speaking of enemy medium tanks, there's the STA-1, who has some of his health shaved off by artillery because, hey, you know, as you can tell by the wreckage of enemy tanks and friendly tanks all over that corner, this is where people come to get killed by artillery on Arctic. Always have done, always will do. And yet, having said that, as the ST-1 nails the STA-1, claiming his Top Gun, why have enemy artillery not been stomping this guy into the ground? Since the VK4502B died, they have had nothing else to shoot at, and yet they have not shot at this guy since the M103 was alive. Do they have better things to do? Who can say? I guess we're shortly going to find out. Don't forget, they still have a T-43, and this ST-1 only has 22 health. Where is he? There he is, he's on the corner. And the ST-1 knows he's been spotted, and there are still 3 artillery on the enemy team, so nope, not going to do it. No. Screw that. RE, help, kill this guy. Friendly artillery, of course, are going to do what they can to support this fella. As the T-28 prototype lumbers all the way around the northwestern end of the map, you'll note the GW Tiger P has moved right up forward in order to get some killing blows on enemy artillery should they become visible. The ST-1 noses up to the corner again, buttocks clenched. Where's that T? Oh, well, that was kind of unexpected. And it seemed to be unexpected for the FV207 as well, who stops. Oh, an ST-1. How did you get there? Oh, and here comes the T-43, who of course doesn't have high explosive loaded. Why would you fire high explosive from a tier 7 medium at the front of a tier 9 heavy? You might win if you do that, and that would simply never do, would it? Come on, second time lucky. Oh, ST-1 donks the shot. T-43 fires armour piercing at the front of the turret of the ST-1 yet again. Artillery trying to nail him. There goes a shot from the FV207, misses, but may have blown his tracks off. Second shot comes in from the 212A, didn't even hit him, but the splash damage was enough to finish the T-43 off. And now it's just the 2 artillery, and they don't have the greatest view range in the world, so, but then again, it's always a roll of the dice when you're trying to find artillery in a heavy tank, because while they don't have fantastic view range, despite the size of the things, they tend to have very, very good camera ratings. Oh, he's spotted the M53, but that of course means the M53 has spotted him. And while he stops to aim, it's not the M53 he needs to worry about. The enemy GW Tiger P claims the kill and brings his kill streak to an end. But hey, at least the ST1 has gotten a Radley Walters medal out of it. That was his 8th kill. Of course, now we're relying on that T28 prototype to find the hidden GW Tiger P, aren't we? What do you think about that, friendly artillery? No, screw this. We'll go and find him ourselves. Oh, come on guys, I'm nearly there. You've taken the longest possible route up the roughest possible terrain. You've still got another 100 metres to go, and there's only 2 minutes of this match left. Screw that, we'll find him the hard way. Oh, I found him. Hang on, turning the turret. Nope, too slow, sucker. You snooze, you lose. GW Tiger P, who's been in the right firing spot for the last 4 minutes, takes the kill. Game over. Next up, we have a replay from Hamster Kicker, which is a fantastic name. I do like that name, by the way. Hamster Kicker in the very, very nice little German Tier 8 light tank, the RU-251 Sperrpanzer. He's here on the Fjords map. It's a Tier 10 game, but actually none of that is important. And when you see what's about to happen, well, you'll understand why the matchmaking and the map and the tank that he's driving is just not really relevant to what you're about to see. Hopefully, you'll also be sickened and appalled and disgusted. He's not going up here alone. Although he is almost going up here alone, he's elected to take his RU-251 up the northeastern corner of the map, and he's being followed by a friendly IS-8. Although he may have done significantly better if he hadn't been followed by this friendly IS-8. And it's not what you think. The IS-8 is not a team killer. It's far worse than that. He makes it up to the corner, and he spots, and is spotted by an IS-7, so that's bad news. But there's an IS-8 with him, and there he is. So, yeah, they can do this. 2-on-1, small light tank, able to use his manoeuvrability and agility to get around and worry the sides and rear of that IS-7 while the IS-6 is engaging him from the front. Totally doable. So he waits for the IS-7 to engage. IS-8 takes a hit, but doesn't do any damage. And now he goes for the flank of the IS-7, who doesn't appear to have any backup. The IS-8's taking his time shooting at this IS-7, however, and the IS-7's just bounced a second shot off the turret cheeks of the IS-8. He sets the IS-7 on fire. He immediately uses his repair kit. The IS-8 finally fires his gun, but does nothing to the IS-7. Starts to drive in front of him, looks as if he's trying to shield the RU-251 from the IS-7, but then pulls back, giving the IS-7 a clear line of fire on the RU-251. Still no backup arriving for the IS-7, but oh, that was not good. There's the first big solid hit he's taken, but he puts another shot into the IS-7. Why is the IS-8 not even pointing his gun at the IS-7? What the hell is going on here? Decides to cut his losses and run, and then he gets really unlucky. He's carrying 2 repair kits and no fire extinguisher. IS-7 shoots him in the engine, sets him on fire. He burns to death. He's out of here. And then an enemy T-49 and a friendly T-54 get involved. T-49 has the 90mm gun. T-54's trying to kill it. T-49 comes around as the IS-7 bounces another shot off the turret cheeks of the front of the IS-8. Turns out the IS-8's gun does actually work, because he puts a shot into the T-49 as the T-54 comes around and kills him. So now it's once again 2-on-1. T-54 and IS-8 versus a half-health IS-7. IS-7 plants one into the T-54. IS-8 is not shooting the IS-7. Why is the IS-8 not shooting the IS-7? Hamster Kicker has already figured out what's going on, as the T-54 dies, and the IS-7 swings his turret round again to the IS-8, who is not shooting at him, moves up, and continues planting shot after shot into the turret cheeks of the IS-8. These guys are both in the same clan. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mission rigging in action. I'm assuming that this is for the IS-8's Stug Heavy Tank 15 mission, because judging by this guy's 42% win rate with nearly 400 battles played in his IS-8, there is no way he's progressed to the T-28 concept or the T-55 or, heaven forbid, the Object 260. To complete this mission, he has to block or do a combined total of 8,000 damage, and that's exactly what the IS-7 is handing to him on a plate. Watch how ugly this starts getting. Yep, here comes the VK4502. The IS-7 is blocking him from taking shots at the enemy tank while still bouncing shots off the IS-8's turret. Look, is it any wonder the IS-8 has a 42% win rate in this tank? He doesn't even have the common sense to turn his armour, what little armour he has, towards the 4502B. He's just sitting there. As the IS-7 is doing his level best to ensure that the 4502 can't take a shot at him, and only now he has the sense to turn the gun around and actually shoot at the 4502B. This is just despicable. At one point I thought the IS-7 was going to have to kill that 4502 for him. The way this guy is driving the tank, it's not hard to see why he's having problems getting this mission completed, is it? But anyway, 4502B dead, and the IS-7 once again starts shooting at the turret cheeks of the IS-8. Damage blocked, damage blocked, damage blocked. Have you ever seen anything like this? Eventually, the IS-8 decides, yeah, I've blocked enough now. Now I just need to actually do some more damage. And the IS-7 offers himself up to be killed. And the IS-8 can't even manage to do that properly. No, shoot above the tracks and below the side armour. Don't shoot into the tracks or the side armour. The side armour's spaced. Try it again. Alright, tell you what. I'll turn the tank around and you can shoot into the back of the tank. There you go. Even you can't miss from here. Come on. At last. I thought the IS-7 was going to have to suicide. I was actually hoping this AMX was going to kill him. I mean, he's not making it hard for the AMX. He's given the guy the side of the tank for shot after shot after shot, but the AMX is a one-shot kill, so yeah, that was pretty inevitable. And with that done, he drives into the cap circle and goes AFK for the rest of the match. I expect you probably need a bit of cheering up after that one. Yeah, don't worry, we've got you covered. This is Master Noob 089 in the T110E5 American Tier 10 Heavy Tank. I really do like the T110E5. I've had some great games in it. It's just got that ideal combination for me in a heavy tank of armour, mobility and firepower. It's almost the antithesis of the... oh, that's a big word, isn't it? Sorry, I'll stop. Of the Russian heavy tanks. It's precise, it's accurate, it's rapid firing. The armour's good from the front, although it does have that weak spot on the top in the shape of that machine gun turret on the commander's cupola. But it's kind of rounded, and providing you keep the turret moving, sometimes it can be quite difficult to hit. Of course, if you just sit there and let people aim at it, well, you're going to take damage. But you're in the kind of tank. It's got a good power-to-weight ratio for a heavy, and it's reasonably mobile for a heavy, that you can make it difficult for them to hit that thing. And hello, he's been spotted. Oh, there's a cheeky little AMX 1390 on his flank. How did he get over there? It's very brave of him. Oh well, he's on the other side of the building, so let's not worry about him just yet, but we'll pay attention and make sure that we know he's there, just in case he tries anything sneaky. And we have, oh, Leopard prototype and an E75 and the VK4502B. Does not go around to take the shot at the Leopard prototype with those two pointing their guns at him. Instead, takes the shot at the front of the E75, which is a far, far easier target than the VK4502B, even for a Tier 10 heavy tank gun. He's hit the Leopard prototype once as well, aims up at the lower glacis of the E75, is unlucky to miss, bounces another shot as the 1390 comes out, decides it's getting far too hot here and he's going to make a break for it. But took the shot, alerted him to the fact that there was a tank on his flank, and he finishes off the 1390. Comes around, there's the 4502B, is kind of lucky with his shot. That's really the only place you can reliably penetrate this Tier 9 German heavy from the front, and he didn't really let that shot aim as long as he probably should have, but hey, he got away with it. Again, going for the lower glacis at the E75. The E75 is not an easy tank to kill, but if you're not going to angle the front of it the way that guy isn't, you're just making it easy. Now have a look at that Leopard prototype. As he's just shooting up and bouncing more shots, and putting more shots into the front of the E75. Watch the Leopard prototype there. He's gone AFK. He's quit the match. He's killed the E75. What I suspect has happened to the Leopard prototype is he took one hit, lost his ammo rack, because the Leopard prototype is made out of ammo racks, and every time the Leopard prototype takes a hit, your ammo rack gets damaged. He's used his repair kit. He then took another hit, lost his ammo rack again, and decided, screw this game, I'm going to play World of Warships. And he's quit out of the match. He's rage quit. 100% certain of it, because I know what it's like driving a Leopard prototype. For the moment, however, he spotted the threat to his flank from the E100, but then the Jaegeru comes around and covers it. So again, he returns to his original corner and starts working on this 4502B. Oh, hang on, we'll just finish off the Leopard prototype. I mean, he's there anyway, so why the hell not? He's got a third kill, and he didn't take any damage doing it. Now, there's an IS-7 on the hill at the back there behind this 4502, but he's not going to be able to penetrate the IS-7 at that kind of angle, and he can't even see the IS-7 anymore, so he keeps trying to hit the commander's cupola of this 4502B, and you can see the 4502B is also waggling the turret, and he's moving backwards and forwards, and he's not making it easy, so instead he decides, screw this, loads his 5 rounds of high explosive anti-tank ammunition. Why 5 rounds of high explosive anti-tank ammunition? Well, it turns out that 5 rounds of high explosive anti-tank ammunition is more or less exactly what you need to kill a VK4502B from the front by putting shot after shot straight through the front of the turret. You'll notice the first round of heat that he fired, he tried to hit the machine gun point. You can see the impact point there on the front of the upper glacis. Yeah, that's no longer a weak spot, which is frankly ridiculous. Remember, this is a tier 9 heavy, and a tier 10 heavy can't take it out from the front without loading premium ammunition, or getting lucky and hitting that commander's cupola shot after shot after shot. Wargaming have acknowledged how ridiculous that tank is. They've actually tried to replace it. This is hilarious. Remember, the problem with the 4502B was its frontal armour. It was just all but impenetrable to anything. Even tier 10 tank destroyers have problems shooting at the front of that thing. So, bearing in mind that this was the problem, they decided they were going to replace it, and it even got as far as being super tested with a mouse prototype. And what were the characteristics of the mouse prototype? It was a tier 9 heavy tank that had frontal armour. Seriously, that was so tough. Even tier 10 tank destroyers had problems dealing with it from the front. So, you know, somewhat predictably, after some time on super test, they realised that this just wasn't really going to work. And what the hell is this IS-7 doing? I mean, look at that. Oh, well, I'm not going to argue. So, yes, the whole mouse prototype thing never really happened. Oh, here comes an E100. Come on, Jaegeru, have him! Have him, Jaegeru! Sorry, Jaegeru. No, he's got to be firing heat. Well, of course he's firing heat, he's an E100. That's what they do, isn't it? Anyway, that's not the point. So, yes, the mouse prototype, it just never happened. So the 4502B was slated to stay with us. And what did they do? Remember, this was a machine that was going to be replaced by another tier 9 heavy because it was too tough from the front. What did they do to the 4502B? They removed the frontal weak spot on the machine gun port. So, they fixed the problem. Oh, we took a hit from the T-34, it set him on fire. Oh, that is not good. Now, he'd already taken damage to his ammo rack, and he's used his repair kit to repair the ammo racks, and now he's got a permanently crippled engine. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What were we talking about? Oh yes, we were having a laugh at Wargaming's tier 9 heavy tank balancing, weren't we? Yeah. Oh, that's the T-34 again. Definitely. But he's got the front of the tank pointing towards him now. You'll notice that the scores are 7-11, by the way. I mean, he's basically killed everything that was in front of him, but the rest of the team aren't doing too well. There's the T-34. Yeah, that's more like it. Can he get another shot in before he reverses into cover? Probably not. No, I'm not seeing... Oh, maybe? Maybe? Yes! Not enough to kill him, though. He's still there, and he's no longer detected. And if he hasn't used the repair kit to back out... Yeah, he has. He's definitely used the repair kit there. He's a one-shot kill now. He's not going to hang around and wait to be hit a third time. And the T-95 at the back is in serious, serious trouble. Come on, T-95, defend yourself. Yes, he's got one of them. He's taken out the Waffenträger, which has given his position away to that M46 pattern, but the M46 does not go for the T-95. Instead, he stops in front of the Jagdpanzer E100 and pays the price. The T-95, however, now has T-34-3 problems, but he does manage to get one shot into him. There it is. But now the T-34-3 is around him, and Master Noob wants to get up there and help him kill that T-34-3, but there are just too many threats on his flank. He nails the T-10. The T-34 is still there. 1375 pops up in front of him. 1375 is not a direct threat. He puts a shot into the 1375, but the 1375 is spotting him for the T-34 on his flank. He needs the T-34 dead before he can do anything to help the T-95, and it's too late. The T-95 is gone. On the bright side, the threat to his flank has been neutralised just as he edges up to finish off this AMX 1375, and the Jagdpanzer E100 nails that enemy tier 10 medium 121. T54 over there has nailed the T34. His flank is now clear, and there are only 2 enemy tanks remaining, the T34-3, and somewhere out there, an enemy Type 62. Actually, the Type 62 was last spotted just on the other side of that hill. And he can't even run away because there's a T-54 on the team. So it's difficult to see how they can lose at this point. There he is. Yeah, that's going to hurt. And yeah, you're never going to penetrate the front of a T-110E5. Not with that thing. It's a good little tank, but it's not for taking on tier 10 heavies from the front. And there's the T-34-3, and this is one hell of a shot. That guy is actually hull down, moving, and he takes him out with a turret shot. Nicely done. Which just leaves the Type 62. And he's going to try and run away from the T-110E5 and the Jagdpanzer E100, and that's going to lead him right into the path of the T-54, who sinks one into him, which means that it's another kill for Master Noob in the T-110E5. How many medals? All of them, I think. I mean, jeez, look at that. Unusual medal there, Naden's medal. You don't see that one too often. You get Naden's medal by killing all of the light tanks on the enemy team. There have to be at least 3 of them. And he nailed the AMX 1390, he nailed the Type 62, and he nailed the AMX 1375. 8 kills, Bradley Walters medal, the Spartan medal, the Naden's medal, as we've already established, Steel Wall, High Caliber, and obviously with the Bradley Walters, you also get the Top Gun, and a host of lesser medals as well, for 9 medals in total, and the Ace Tanker badge. He did over 9,000 damage, 8 kills, and bounced over 5,000 damage with his armour. And now that Master Noob's T110E5 is no longer interrupting my stories by embarking on a ridiculous kill streak, we'll summarise the story of the 4502B replacement for you. The problem was the 4502B at tier 9 was just too strongly armoured from the front, so Wargaming replaced it on the super test with a tank that was too strongly armoured from the front. They, unsurprisingly, realised that this wasn't actually working out the way they'd hoped, so they scrapped the replacement, turned back to the VK4502B and said, well, what are we going to do about you? And buffed its frontal armour. And if you thought that was funny, well, we haven't quite finished with Master Noob, because when you have a look at the final screen of the battle results, you will be delighted to know that despite doing over 9,000 damage in a tier 10 match, he fired 5 rounds, count them, a whole 5 rounds of high explosive anti-tank ammunition. So he actually lost money on that match, because he wasn't running a premium account. Oh, Wargaming, don't ever change. Well, I hope you've been amused by today's first replay, horrified by today's second replay, and entertained and hopefully educated by today's third replay. That's it for today, folks. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.